fair, I had to retire early from international rugby. I was forced by Clive Woodward.
I was forced to retire from international rugby, yeah. My playing performances forced me to retire from international rugby. But guys, this isn't a laughing matter. You know, when players are negotiating their contracts, particularly as Dan Leo is highlighting, guys coming over from overseas, he obviously knows about the Pacific Islanders. There is pressure put on contracts. Is it something that you guys are aware about?
Not personally. I think we've grown up here, so it kind of doesn't really relate to us. But no, we kind of understand where he's coming from, and obviously there's been rumours for the last World Cup with players not being able to play, clubs not letting them, and now you hear about it as players and you talk to the fellow Tongans, and you obviously they don't tell you everything, but you can understand where they're coming from.
Ben, I think the reason it seems so pertinent is there's a history of the Pacific Islanders being cut a pretty raw deal in so many financial aspects of the game.
There is, and the wider game as a whole, rather than just individual. I was just saying there's a lot less room on this sofa than there usually is. There is, but I think part of that as well up here, particularly in England, is the salary cap situation, because clubs have a finite amount of finances that they've got, particularly in a World Cup year. And you could also, I think they'd maybe argue, if you look at Samu Manoa, he came in and didn't play for the USA in last 4 years ago World Cup. Would he have got that contract if he hadn't been available to play, because they needed to fill the gap of other players that were away? So I think the club's hands are a little bit tied in the matter, whether they'd admit to it happening or not. It's a difficult situation.
It's not just the Islanders as well. It does happen over here. You see players like Ewan Murray retiring today. Maybe there's a little bit of a suggestion from his club that they'd like to see him play more for the club, and if you're borderline, it can go either way. But it's difficult for the players. Talking of being difficult, George, it would be remiss of us not to ask you how your noggin is. How are you getting on?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, it's still attached, as you can see. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Feeling okay, just taking it step by step, really, at the moment.
I was so glad that ball didn't hit you. I'm sure it's fine, but I didn't want it to be us that was testing you out.
Talking of serious injuries, Mako, you've really damaged. You've got a nasty graze on your elbow there. Is that okay? I mean, that's not going to keep you out this weekend.
No, hopefully not. I just fell off a bike going at 50 miles per hour, so I'm all right.
He wasn't. He was standing still. He's getting off.
George, let's just ask a little bit about the situation with you at the moment. What do you go through at the moment while you're waiting to get the all clear for you to feel comfortable start playing again? Do you have an assessment every day? Is it every week? What goes on?
To begin with, it was like assessment every day, because obviously they like to monitor you the first sort of 24, 48 hours, just make sure obviously you can't really be left alone, just obviously in case anything happens. And obviously from then it's sort of a protocol you go through with your physio and the club and the doctor, and work out what's the best sort of course to go, really. So for me, it was a case that we saw a specialist, and it was recommended that I take a month off and then review post the time off. And in that time I was able to do a little bit just to keep me ticking over, and then some days not be able to do much, and then it's just how you sort of progress each day, and then hopefully make a return soon.
And what are the things that you actually look for? What are the standout things that say, right, I'm not ready?
It's hard to say, because everyone's different. So some people might say that it's a balance, some people might say that they get headaches and stuff. So it's very much each individual is massively down to them and what they feel, and it's something that it's been obviously highlighted of late, and I think it's good that it is.
And incredibly frustrating for you as well. I mean, what can you do? A rugby player wants to train, wants to play. Have you taken up painting? How is your painting?
Yeah. My painting's terrible, but my cross stitch is awesome.
Beautiful. That's lovely. That's lovely. Such delicate hands.
Yeah. It's just a case of a lot of it's again how you feel on the day. Some days you feel terrible, so you don't really do so much, and then some days you're able to start doing a bit of bike, and that's what I've been able to do recently. Is start doing a little bit of training just to help me sort of get back on the full training, really.
Well, we hope to see you back on the field of play pretty soon, but back on the field of play safely.